Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
So why don't we talk about sex? Crazy. Let me come a little closer. Yeah, we're talking sex. Let's be intimate. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. A little bit gloomy on the Gold Coast. We're expecting what was originally Category 3, downgraded to Category 2, cyclone. We'll probably get here and it'll be a puff of wind. But all the surfers are gagging for it and they're down the beach waiting for this big swell to roll through. So, look, hope you're having a good day wherever you may be in the world. And I want to talk to you about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's just get it out there and say that word sex on social media, out in the open, out in public. Crazy that we've got sex as a taboo. Why is that? It's crazy. Why can't we talk about sex? What is the fear of talking about sex? Is it a fear that my mum may see this and the last thing that I need is my mum to hear me talking about sex? Probably. She doesn't need to hear this. Mum, you can switch off now. But the reality is, even my mother had to have sex for me to be here talking to you about sex. It's quite liberating to say sex repeatedly on social media. How crazy. You should try it. Just jump on your feed and say sex, sex, sex as many times as you can in a conversation and hashtag it and see what happens. So why can't we? Why can't we talk about it when the same way that we all arrived here and became these beings because of sex? I mean, it's been happening since the beginning of time. Adam and Eve kicked it off and it rolled out from there on in. Everyone's had to have done it to trickle down the line to get this point where we are today. So why are we not allowed to talk about it? And my question is, if you're not talking about it and you're not talking about it to your kids, who's teaching them about it? I remember when I was a kid, I was given a book, put into the what was the quasi office / spare bedroom, told to read the book and find my way. Birds and bees. God knows, no wonder we've got so many binary people in this world who are conflicted and confused. Am I the bird or the bee? Who am I? What am I doing? I don't know. I was 9. Can't make heads and tails of it. So if you're not teaching your kids and you're not talking to your kids, who are you charging with that responsibility? Is it their mates at school? Is it the teacher's responsibility? Worse still, is it the internet and the stupid little smutty trash trolls that we see on social media today flashing their bits out to get likes? And that's the definition for them of success. If I get more likes because I flash my boobs, that means that I'm winning in life. Not in my books, but there are people who run that strategy. So, worse still, worse than those trolls, are you leaving it to a stranger? Or is it a taboo that they can't even talk about it themselves and they develop fears? So here's the reality. As a kid, you know sex is happening. You know it's going on. You know it's going on in the household. But you're not too sure why it's all locked away, closed away, and we can't talk about it. So human nature, we're inquisitive beings. We want to go out and explore this and understand why. But why can't we talk about it? And why is it like this secret code? But if you point out the elephant in the room and demystify it, all of a sudden I don't need to go chase it because it's like, it's just sex. That's what two loving couples do when they're together and they're having adult time or connection time, or they're showing love towards each other. That's what it is. Cool, I know what that is. Don't worry about it. I don't need to go looking in some dark alley or some porn shop to try and find this. Point out the elephant in the room. Have those brave and tough conversations with your kids. And the hardest thing with those conversations is just starting them. Just got to start the conversation. So why am I talking about sex today? Because truthfully, that's not the biggest taboo in the households. Money is the greatest taboo. There are more people, studies show, that they're too afraid to talk about money at their household dinner table, wherever it may be. And they would prefer to talk about sex. And we all know that I just disclosed that sex is one of the biggest taboos. So money's the bigger taboo. Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk statistics. 1 in 10 people in Australia are unwilling to disclose their salary to their kids. 1 in 10. are too afraid to mention their number of what they earn to their kids. Now, can you imagine? I came from the same space, guys. That was me. I'm a financial planner and I sit in front of people all day. And I was told as a kid, you never ask someone their salary. So can you imagine how conflicted I was in the first 30 seconds of meeting someone? The fourth question, other than, hi, how are you? What's your name? What's your date of birth? What do you do for a job? What do you earn? Whoa. I mean, they were uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable asking. It was horrible for everyone. Now it's water on a duck's back. I've done it enough times and it's just a number. It's just a number to me. There's no judgment on it. There's no right, wrong, good, bad. You could tell me you earn 10 million bucks and I'm like, cool, it's a number. I'm not impressed by it. It's just a number. You could tell me you earn $10,000 and I'm like, cool, that's all right. Where do we go from here? What's next? So it is just a number. 1 in 10 are afraid to talk about it. 24% are too afraid or embarrassed to talk to their kids about money. A further 24% say that they don't have an interest in talking money to their kids. And then a further 24% say that they believe their kids don't have any interest in money either. That is an overwhelming, I think. So what that tells me is just a mere nearly 28%, nearly, are talking money with their kids. They're saying to their kids at the dinner table, at home, having meetings, discussions, general chit-chats about money. And the rest, the majority, the masses, are leaving the financial education of their children up to Koshi on Channel 7. Good Lord. All right, so let me bring this little baby home for you and what can we do about it? Because it doesn't have to stay that way. As I said earlier, with the sex talk, the hardest thing about having these conversations is starting the damn things. So start the conversations. Ask your kids about money. Do you know what money is? What do you think of money? What does it make you feel like? There's some basic, I'm going to give you 5 points, 5 things that you can have easy conversations with your kids around. Let's unpack them. Okay, so number 1 is be transparent. Always be transparent. I don't mind what conversation it is you're having, whether it is sex, money, your relationship, your philosophies, your beliefs. Be transparent. I've always believed if you tell the truth, you'll never have to remember your lies. It's a great starting point. So be transparent. It served me very well with my kids. So number two will be share stories. Make it interactive, make it engaging. Tell the good stories, tell the bad stories, tell the ugly ones. We all learn experientially. And if we cast our mind back to many hundreds of years ago, we used to actually sit around the campfire and there was no Netflix, there was no TV, there was no internet. We actually used to talk to each other. It was this really weird thing called communication. And our ancestors passed down their stories from previous ancestors and their lessons. So why can't we maybe do the same thing? Shit, who would have thought? Talk to your family members. That's how we learn. We learn by passing the torch, pass the baton on. Number 3, express yourself. Okay, express yourself and your feelings with money. Maybe you're going through a financial constriction phase. Talk about it. You'll probably feel better for it. But your kids will learn from it. Ask them what they think about money. And then you can have a meaningful conversation about how it makes you feel, how it makes them feel, and have good conversations around that. Okay, number 4 is you want to set your kids up for financial success. So you actually want to encourage them to learn, like, love money. And I don't mean that from a bad, how we always used to think that money was, it's got so many bad connotations, like rich people are corrupt and rich people are selfish and all the other crap that you've heard and limiting beliefs that you've heard because you never had money. But what you want to do is basically have conversations which empowers your children to believe in money and it's making them better. You can actually do more with money. I can tell you I've been rich and I've been broke and I can do a lot more for people when I'm rich. I can't get them out of a hole when I'm in the hole with them. So money is a conversation that you need to impart upon them that they can actually do more in the world and be better in the world, and don't beat themselves up about money because they don't have money or the things that they're doing with money, or you shouldn't spend on that. Spend. As long as you've got a plan for everything and you've accounted for every dollar and it's coming from the right bucket that you've allocated it to, go and spend freely without guilt. Okay, so finally, number 5 is focus on the family. Okay, so as I said, focus on the family. This is one of my highest values. It's something I'm very passionate about. My family is my number one, my key driver, everything I do. Even when I get caught up in my own little shit that I get carried away with, my own little projects and that, my key driver and what I always go back to is them. So I really encourage you to learn to embrace this. Focus your wealth on your family. Create generational wealth. Create a change. Whatever happened is in the past is in the past. It's just a memory. But you can actually be the beginning of a whole new generation of wealth. You could have family wealth that if you've never had wealth before, you can create that and create a legacy that is lasting for generations to come. But you have to create it to start with. The second thing you have to do is teach them about it, because otherwise if you don't, they'll just blow the wealth that you created. So I really encourage you, talk about wealth, where you're going, what your vision is, have conversations around it. And once you've done the first one, they become a lot easier, and you've pointed out the elephant in the room, it's no longer a fear. But I really encourage you, you can make a real difference for generations to come in your whole family, and your bloodline will look back one day and they go, do you remember Grandpa so-and-so, whatever your name is, that this is where it all started. She started and created this by making a decision to create our wealth and talk to us about it and teach us about wealth. That power is within you. That opportunity is within you. And that should be or could be your legacy that will last 1,000 years to come. And wouldn't that be amazing? You guys have a great day. You need any information on this one, direct message me. I'm here for a chat. I love this stuff. I'm talking about money and family and sex. What's not to like about it? You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.